Hi there. Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Been a little bit since I last recorded, but we are back. And as I recall, it's time to have a little chat with Herlock about certain stuff that we've been curious about uh, for a while now. So hopefully, yeah, time for answers, or at least some answers, anyway. And also, enjoying the dinner. Also, I don't know why. Some of that position of his, he looks slightly, sus. Or, he's sus of us. Like, he's just got, that one eye, upturned, Yeah, what are you doing? Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing? Oh. Is he, upset that he doesn't have any pheasant? Because as I recall, he was a little sad about not having any pheasant. Surely it's abundantly clear that I wasn't brooding of a Mikotoba's refusal to share his pheasant with me. Nevertheless, I felt the need to withdraw from the social circle for a while and look on with hungry eyes. Okay, so yeah, he was moping over his lack of pheasant. I mean, that's fair enough. I mean, pheasant sounds pretty good. Especially in, Victorian England, where I'm pretty sure they ate, spotted dick and whatnot. So, pheasant must have been a nice change of pace. Sorry, Hurley, but I cooked that pheasant especially for Susie's daddy. Even though I've played the role of father to you for far longer. Mr. Sholmes, could I discuss some things with you? Ah, certainly, dear fellow. I find myself quite in the mood for a spell of conversation. Are you okay, Herlock? Just in general? Because, I don't know, sometimes you make me wonder. But I mean, I guess looking on the bright side, you don't let adversity keep you down for too long. You bounce back quick, I guess. No doubt, you're hungry to learn more of my deep love of game. Ing. Herlock's a gamer, guys. I can probably contain my curiosity on that one. You needn't look at me in that fashion. In what fashion? It seems that before we discuss the pheasant... Oh, you meant pheasant, or you meant game, bird game. I thought you were, I don't know, I thought you were bringing up, board games or whatever, out of nowhere. Or gaming, and like I thought. But yeah, no, bird game, that makes more sense. It seems that before we discuss the pheasant, we have some rather unpheasant matters to discuss. Oh, jeez, you're not just a master detective, you're a master of wordplay as well. But yeah, no, you're right. There's shit we gotta talk about. Man, we have a lot of evidence. How is gonna come a point where we're gonna dispose some of this shit before the next trial begins? Because a lot of shit. Anyway, let's gab. What's the telegram about? So, what was in that telegram you received back from Japan then? Ah, this. I thanked my lucky stars it arrived in time. Record found as indicated. Duplicate follows. K. Asogi. Fuck, what is that? What is that symbol? It's a slash, like a dash. Well, it's not a dash. It's like a Kasuma Asogi, A. Shin, Tobai T. Gregson, J. Wilson. Oh yeah, weren't those the names that on the wait? Yeah, that was the names on the disc, the music disc from the first game. At the end of the first game, we figured out whose names were all on that disc. And yeah, there was an A Shin, there was Jay Wilson, to T Gregson, and you know, a Sogi. Wow, those four names. We've we've come across that exact same list before. Yeah, we sure did. I remember it. It's been a long time, but since I actually beat the first game. But I definitely wouldn't forget that for the life of me. They came up in that unforgettable case last spring. What appeared to be a simple case of aggravated murder. Yeah, a simple case of aggravated murder. You know, no big deal. We have those every fucking day. I mean, yes, we do. People do get murdered every day, but I don't know. You don't normally describe murder as a simple case, you know. Turned out to be massive, monumental intrigue. A plot that involved the sale of British governmental secrets to foreign states. And exposing the means by which those secrets are being leaked, we deciphered a fragment of a message. And also got our asses suspended from practicing law for a while. K. Asogi, A. Shin, T. Gregson, and J. Wilson. But we didn't find the names out until the case was over, and we never did get to the bottom of what they meant. All we knew was that the information had been sent by somebody in the British government to somebody in Japan. Yeah, because that's why it was in Japanese Morse code. And that's what was like tripping us up for a while. So, why are the names coming up again now? Yes! Why did the sender of your telegram discover them, Mr. Sholmes? I have here the message I had wired yesterday. Allow me to read it to you. Enter Judge Jigoko's office undetected and investigate telegram records. Expect to find communication from Britain, dated 1 year ago. List of 4 names. Need by tomorrow. Naruhodo. Hey, why do you want my name on there? I know, I'm not the one who sent the telegram. I sent it to a detective who voice. I sent it to a detective I know who specializes in clandestine missions of this nature. Why do I have a feeling it involves a certain Mr. Turtle? I mean... Oh, see, look! Suzato was just thinking of the same guy. Great minds think alike. You asked Inspector Hosanaga to undertake such an onerous task for you? And in my name? Yeah, that's the real issue. Don't bring me into your drama, dude. I mean, I appreciate your, doing it, but you can sign your own damn name. I wonder what guise he opted for this time. Ah, my dear fellows, it was a matter of great urgency, you understand. Anyway, the list of names was found in Seshiro's office, as Sholmes predicted. What were those names doing in Seshiro's office? So you mean that mysterious collection of names that was sent from Britain to Japan was... It was sent to Judge Jigoko! He was the intended recipient! I don't believe it. That doesn't answer the question of what the list of names actually signifies. Well, knowing what we know now, we have Asogi and Gregson, who apparently, I don't know, I guess Asogi casually occupied Gregson on a fucking assassination mission, and then decided, nah, I'm not interested in it, actually. So they have some kind of connection. A Shin, as we've learned, apparently, worked for the Reaper in some form or fashion. The Reaper organization, if you will. Though I don't remember or know if they told us what significance Jay Wilson had. Other than the fact that he was the guy who wrote the fake autopsy report, like, back in the Professor incident. But, besides that. Either way, 3 of those 4 names have a direct connection to this case. And, 2 of them do, but and one of them is also pretty closely related, and Dr. Wilson is not directly related, but, still. I did formulate a hypothesis about that. But without a shred of evidence, I couldn't possibly have shared it. Mr. Sholmes. Seems like he's being pretty serious for once. Looks deadly serious for once. Look at that, Finn. I love it when Ryunosuke and Susato both say the same things that I'm thinking. The telegram for Japan has been entered into the court record. Let me just double check that myself real quick, if you don't mind. Record found is indicated, duplicate follows. Oh, okay, so that's him saying he found the thing and then duplicated it on the telegram and then sent it back to Sholmes. Cool. Either way, that's definitely going to come in handy, I can already tell. Now, about Kazuma's hashtag death. That tragedy we had to go through on the SS Bureau resulted from nothing. Kazuma wasn't dead at all. Are you just now gonna fucking, like, yell at Sholmes about this? We were completely taken in by the lie that you told us. Your great detective's lie. I mean, he did say that great detectives are known to lie, or want to lie, so, you know. I took no pleasure in deceiving you. However, at the time, all that concerned me was preventing the young man's study tour from taking place, whatever the cost. Why do you care about Kazuma's study tour? What? I capitalized on the events that transpired to see that he was sent back to Japan. So yeah, I guess he did know all along that Kazuma wasn't actually dead. His remains, you mean? Precisely, Mr. Zato. Mr. Zato. And then I made sure that somebody else was sent to Britain in his stead. Oh my! You mean... The arrangement between our two countries was already in place. One university student lawyer and one judicial assistant should be accommodated on a study tour. In other words, by arranging for someone else to fill the place originally intended for Mr. Isogi, I would successfully prevent the man from arriving on our shores for several years at least. Wait, do you mean to say that it was all in aid of stopping Kazuma coming to Britain? That's why you... Think back, Mr. Naruhodo. Was there not somebody who quite casually urged you to continue on Was there not someone who quite casually urged you to continue on the voyage to England? I mean, it has been a hot minute since that case, but yeah. I mean, when you put it like that. The terms of this study tour were negotiated by the Department of Justice in both Great Britain and Japan. In the light of Mr. Isogi's unfortunate death, I'm afraid the study tour can no longer go ahead. Man, this is one instance where I bet people did complain about there being a flashback, because even for me, even for people who did, you know, take extended breaks while playing this game, this part of this case would be like a long time gone by the time you got to this point, so the flashback is appreciated. My dear fellows, the majority of problems have an extremely simple solution, you know. All you require is one lawyer, and the study tour can continue, surely. But there is no one else with the necessary qualifications, Mr. Sholmes. We know of no other lawyer. The voyage to London still promises a good month of time. Ample opportunity, I would say, to find yourselves another suitable lawyer. So, you manipulated me? I've often remarked on the extraordinary links to which friendship will drive a man. I was quite sure that you would rise to the challenge for your late friend. Well, geez, well, that's nice, I guess. You believed in me even before I believed in myself. It's almost nice, in a way. I don't believe it! But it was all contrived. I mean, what happened was treated by the authorities as murder. A woman was mistakenly arrested as a perpetrator. What do you suppose became of her? Oh yeah, she was arrested and stuff. Well, to be fair, even if she didn't actually murder Kazuma, it was still like assault. I don't know, aggravated assault. It wasn't attempted murder because it was an accident. But you know, she still tried to frame me, so I mean that's a crime at least. Naturally, I didn't allow the misapprehension to have any serious repercussions. I subsequently explained everything and assisted the unfortunate soul in finding the foreign refuge she sought. Oh, well, that was pretty nice of you. I do remember feeling kind of bad because, well, it was a really bad situation to be in, and it's not like she did it, you know, it was all accidental, so nice that things worked out for her, I suppose. I seem to remember Mr. Zato and I had some rather strong words for her. Well, she was certainly not devoid of all guilt. She deserved every word, I'm sure. I mean, yeah, again, she did try to frame us, and that's no good. I wonder if she made it to America then. Well, I mean, according to Sholmes, he helped her find the refuge she was looking for, so all's well that ends well. I'm afraid I simply cannot comprehend it. Why would you go to such lengths, Mr. Sholmes? Why were you so determined to stop Kazuma-sama from reaching Britain? I mean, that does seem odd. As far as I know, Sholmes didn't know Kazuma that well. I mean, technically they physically met in person during the escapade. We saw that, yeah, he ran into him before, but it's not like they knew each other that well. It was a chance meeting. The truth is, 12 months ago, there was already a very tangible omen of the impending tragedy, you see. Oh! An omen that at this very moment in time, is close at hand. An omen of all these tragic events that already existed a year ago? It's close at hand. We need to find out exactly what Mr. Sholmes is talking about, and why he's being so fucking mysterious. Omen? Where art thou, Omen? I kind of thought the conversation would open up, and then I would click on it. Does it want me to present something? Does it want me to figure out what the Omen is? Let's see. My badge, or my armband. Well, the only thing I can see that we have now as evidence that would also have been present during the events of the year prior. Well, the armband, but I don't think it's that. But also, Karuma? Oh. I guess it wasn't Karuma. Well, I don't know. I mean, none of this stuff relates to the things that happened the year before. Armband? I don't know. Mr. Sholmes, would you mind looking at this? There's hardly the tiniest error, as I'm sure you will appreciate. Oh, no, of course not. My attention is entirely drawn to one single matter now. The pheasant. Anyone would think you hadn't eaten in weeks. Okay, well, silly Sholmes. Well, I mean, if you're not going to tell me what to click, what the Omen, I don't know what you want from me. Again, all this stuff is from, like, relatively recent. Oh, do you mean the telegram itself? Oh, wait. Duh. Obviously, it's the fucking telegram itself. Because that's what was the names from the year before. Duh. Silly me. There was no room for doubt with your instructions in this telegram, Mr. Schultz. You were very clear that it was Judge Jigoku's office that should be searched. So? You obviously knew that's where the list of names would be found. K. Asogi, A. Shin, T. Gregson, and J. Wilson. But we only learned of those 4 names just over 6 months ago now. And only because they appeared as part of the top secret government communications that were leaked. That's true, yes. But at the time, you were unaware of the background. You see, those 4 names were wired to Japan. Around 6 months before that, approximately this time last year in fact, when you were both still in Japan. Huh. It really would be hypocrisy on my part to reprove others for intercepting state secrets. Because after all, I'm perpetually eavesdropping on communications between the British and Japanese governments. Okay, that's a pretty bold thing to just admit. You're literally doing what? How? Never mind the details. But you should know. No secret is safe from Herlock Sholmes when he has designs on knowing it. And how ominous. Oh my! Mr. Sholmes! What a fabulous line! Yeah, it did go pretty hard, I can't deny. Now, 1 month after that list of 4 names was wired to the recipient Jigoku in Japan. Also, man, the music just really started kicking in fast now, didn't it? Dr. John H. Wilson was murdered. Gah! Yeah, I remember that. As soon as I learned of the incident, a hypothesis rapidly took shape in my mind. As it turned out, I was partly correct, and partly mistaken. Nevertheless, it was the beginning of all the tragic events that were to follow. Seriously, I don't know what this one's called, but I'm digging this. Mr. Sholmes, please, tell us all you know. Tell us about these 4 names and the tragedy to which they're all somehow connected. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. I'm sure we can probably finish this conversation out before ending this episode. As I said, when I learned of Dr. Wilson's murder in Japan, my mind immediately turned to those 4 names. Because, you see, there was someone else on the list who I believed to be recently deceased. What? Who? A Shin, as it was transcribed in Japanese script. In actual fact, Miss Asa Shin. That was a familiar name to me. She was a professional killer, well known among London's, unsavory classes. Oh, I see. But she completely vanished from existence several months before Wilson's murder. So I came to the logical conclusion that she had herself been killed. And accordingly, I became fearful for the lives of the 2 remaining persons on the list. K. Asogi and T. Gregson. Oh, that's why. Oh, well, I'm sure it wasn't the only reason, but with that information in mind, Herlock's initial reaction to finding out that Gregson had been murdered, yeah, it makes a little more sense. Owing to our proximity, I decided to take measures to protect Gregson myself, but I determined it would be safest if young Asogi were to stay away from Britain. So that's why you went to such lengths to prevent his study tour from going ahead. That makes sense, I guess. Exactly. So, you already knew who Kazuma-sama was, Mr. Sholmes. Oh yes, Sholmes and I have exchanged correspondence for years. Yeah, okay. And since Kazuma did apparently grow, I mean, he grew up with Mikotoba after, you know, Genshin and whatnot, so I guess that actually does check out now you mention it. I'd recounted many tales about Osogi to him in my letters. And the news of Dr. Wilson's death, of course. So, Dr. Wilson is dead then? Oh yeah, I guess we hadn't told her about that, had we? Well, at least she knows that Dr. Wilson isn't her dad yet now. I didn't know. Oh, Iris. I know he wasn't my daddy, but still. That's very sad. Yeah, at least you figured that part out first before you figured out that he died. I'm so sorry, Iris. We knew the significance of the name, obviously, but we just couldn't bring ourselves to tell you. No. But what you just told us, Mr. Sholmes, doesn't completely tie in with the facts. There's one big hole in your hypothesis. A big hole, Mr. Naruhodo. Don't take that out of context. Ah, yes. You mean about Asa Shin, I suppose. Or I presume. The fact that he wasn't dead. Or at least not yet. Oh, of course! Exactly. She wasn't killed, was she? She was in Japan, posing as a visiting student under the assumed name of Giselle Brett. I'm glad you're keeping up, my dear fellow. Also, I gotta say, Giselle Brett sounds more like a real name than Asa Shin, if I just throwing it out there. But I only became aware of that fact 2 days ago in the foyer of the Great Waterloo Hotel. Ah! And upon hearing that startling revelation, the hypothesis that I'd formed surrounding those 4 names was completely turned topsy. The what? Topsy? Topsy hypothesis. Care to elaborate? What do you mean when you say your hypothesis was turned upside down, Mr. Sholmes? I had believed all 4 names on the list to be the names of victims. However, I was mistaken. Very much so. Asa Shin was a killer. So this telegram is a list of both victims and killers, is it? Indeed. And it would seem that Miss Shin was dispatched from Britain with the sole intention of dispatching Dr. Wilson. Her visiting student status being merely a front. Ah! Which would of course explain why no motive could be determined for her actions. Yeah, I mean, we never actually did figure out why she did that, did we? So the real reason Dr. Wilson was killed by Asa Shin is because he was a target of an assassination. And, forearmed with that knowledge, fresh consideration of this telegram puts the list in a very different perspective. What do you mean? Well, does it not strike you? There is another among the 4 who subsequently became a visiting student. Yeah. Yeah. That would in fact be Kazuma, which would mean okay, wait. That would mean wait, what? I'm trying to figure out. Okay, so that means Kazuma was here to do an assassination then. And he was here he would have theoretically come here to assassinate Gregson, apparently. For some reason, even though I thought Gregson was also part of the Reaper organization, so what's that about? Also, yeah, him having amnesia for like 6 months or whatever probably put a delay on those plans. But no, it didn't completely stop them apparently. Wait. You mean... But of course, a name you knew only too well. You mean Kazuma? He did say in court earlier today, rather casually, that he was apparently accompanying Gregson on the assassination. Yes, on the 31st of October, I accompanied Inspector Gregson to Dunkirk in order to carry out a mission. And the mission was the assassination of the monarch. Young Mr. Asogi accepted that mission a year ago now. Surely not. In conclusion, this document is a contract of sorts. An international agreement, one might say, detailing an assassin exchange. An assassin exchange? That sounds like a fucking anime plot. Which I guess is fitting for what we're dealing with here. How could Cosima possibly come involved in something like that? Okay, damn, we just keep getting new things to click on. I was gonna end this episode a little bit ago, but oh well, we'll keep going. It's too good now. Let's assume that we have two parties, each wishing to dispose of a distinct individual. Those two parties then make a contract to swap their respective assassination targets. That would then be an assassin exchange. So to begin with, the British assassin is dispatched as a visiting student to Japan, where she kills her target. And then the Japanese assassin is dispatched as a visiting student to Britain in order to eliminate his target. But why, though? Why would you need to exchange the assassins? Couldn't you just have the assassins stay in their country of choice and do the assassination? I assume they're going to answer that question, but that's the immediate thing that comes to mind. It certainly does sound like an exchange. But what on earth is the point? See, that's what Inosuke was thinking. Don't forget, Naruhodo, that the British assassin at least escaped conviction, thanks to diplomatic immunity afforded by consular jurisdiction. Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess. Such jurisdiction should be null and void under the terms of the new treaty between our two countries, so the fact that it was brought into play suggests intervention at the very highest levels. The highest levels? These murders were two sides of the same coin, linked not by a common motive, but by contractual agreement. As such, they appeared utterly unrelated, yet in truth, the assassins were complicit in one singular, devilish scheme. That disassociation and the safeguard of diplomatic immunity were, I believe, the motivation behind this plot. I guess that makes sense. But wait a minute, Sholmes. If this telegram really is describing the exchange of assassins as you're suggesting, it would mean that the Japanese killer's target was never Sashiro Jigoko at all. Yeah, that's true. So why did Kazuma say that he accompanied Gregson on a mission to assassinate Jigoko if Jigoko was never a target? It would mean that Asogi's target was actually Inspector Gregson. Okay, well now, I mean, Asogi was already looking kind of sus, but now he's looking even sussier than he was before. What? Kazuma was here for Gregson? So Judge Jigoko wasn't actually the mark? Yes, that's exactly what it would mean. Man, this is fucking tangled fucking webs. I hold myself personally responsible for failing to keep the inspector safe. Mr. Sholmes. I told him of my fears, and implored him to seek a transfer to an overseas position. Obviously, with a young pickpocket in tow. Oh, so Sholmes was the one who was encouraging Gregson to try and leave the country. Because I do remember in the third case, Gregson did say he was planning to transfer to Paris at some point, even though that never went through. I mean, he made it to Paris, but, you know, he didn't make it back. Yes, Gina. Come to think of it, Inspector Gregson did mention that to us at the Great Exhibition. That he'd be transferring to the Paris police and taking Gina with him. But without informing me, he engaged in one last assignment, it seems. Yeah, that's a weird thing, because like if Gregson was associated with the Reaper, why was his name on the list to be assassinated if he was part of the Reaper organization? That's quite curious. And sadly, it turned out to be his very last. This is too much to take in. Yeah, you're telling me it's a whole lot. Okay, well, since it looks like we're formally finished with the Sholmes discussion, so I think we can wrap this episode up for now. Boy, we sure. I mean, this whole episode was basically just one big exposition dump, but it was nice to have after all this time and all this putting off learning about these things. Though once again, there's still things I'm not sure about. Like, how did Gregson end up being attacked? Well, Gregson was. What's Gregson's association with the Reaper, and why was his name on the list? And also Dr. Wilson, for that fact. Like, why exactly were they targeted for assassination? I mean, neither one of them were, like as far as I know, neither of them were like, on trial for something, and then got acquitted. So, don't know why they would be targeted like that. But, huh. Either way, interesting stuff. And yeah, I think I'll wrap things up for the time being. In the next episode, though, we'll definitely. I assume we're gonna have some more lighthearted fare, so that'll be nice. But until then, I'll see you around.